Good morning everybody and welcome. I'm Mel Soul, Director of Instruction and Master Professional at the Mel Soul Golf School. We are located here at Pawleys Plantation Golf and Country Club in Pawleys Island, South Carolina. And today, this month's golf tip is about chipping. And the chipping motion is one of the simplest motions possible in the golf swing. And yet, a lot of people struggle with chipping. So I'm going to give you a couple of little things that you need to get right 100% of the time. And some of my students have heard me say this before, but if you need to have all of these things 100% correct, you might as well get it 100% of the time. And the only way you're going to do that is by practicing. Now the good news is you don't need a golf course, you don't even need a green. You can practice this at home in your living room. It's just practicing a motion. So there are a couple of keys. What I notice with a lot of students is when they're chipping, and we'll talk about going down to that bottom flag down there, they'll tend to stand in their normal golf stance. And of course the ball now is quite a long way away, and what happens is the arc of the club is going to go this way because you're further away. It's very difficult to, you can see if I push the club straight through my body, it doesn't work. So what happens is, and the ball is going to go to the left. So what you want to do with chipping is put your feet together. So I'm going to do this face onto the camera. Put your feet together with the ball in the middle. Take both toes, keep the heel still, and turn both toes about 45 degrees towards the hole. The ball position is now just behind the toes of the back foot. The butt of the club should be over your left thigh. So when you're standing, you're going to have about a 10-degree forward shaft lean. So you're going to de-loft this club by about 10 degrees. So the reason that I stand like this, and if you go back to about 1997, look at my golf tips back then, you'll notice that I used to teach the chipping with the same position as the pitching. But what I noticed when students chipped with this manner, there was a lot of lower body movement. So when you stand like this and turn, it's like locking the upper body and lower body. I'm turning the lower body, but I'm keeping the upper body still. So I'm turning the lower body. My shoulders must still be going towards the targets. If I take a club and lay it across my shoulders here and look at where the butt of the club is pointing, it's pointing towards my target. That allows the club, if I'm now standing closer and my shoulders are square, it now allows the club to work a little bit more straight back and straight through, which will allow me to hit in a better direction. And I want to be aware that when I go through, I keep the club face square, so I don't allow the hands to turn like that. So I think of the palm of my lower hand going back and through like this. So when I chip, the club face will always stay fairly square and I'll be able to hit the ball on the line very accurately. So once you're in your chipping stance and you've locked your lower body, first thing, check the shoulders, make sure the shoulders are correct. Most of the students tend to, because they turn their feet and their hips, they turn their shoulders as well, and the club again, if the shoulders are crooked, the club will come and they'll tend to pull the chips. So there, if I'm closer, I'm going to go straight back and straight through. And you can see now that the line, and that almost went in. So the line that I chip the ball on has to always be correct. At least there, I have a chance of going in. If my ball is going way left or way right, I have no chance. So pay attention to your setup. The address position, like that, butt of the club, like that, shoulders square, and from there it's a very simple pendulum motion. So it's only my shoulders that are working. I'm not moving my legs or my lower body or anything. I'm not using my wrists and getting too flippy. I'm just soft grip pressure, but working only from the shoulders. That motion alone takes a little bit of time to get right. So sometimes practice, if you can, practice in front of a mirror, because you can watch and see, are my knees moving? And if they're not, are my wrists breaking down? Your goal is to try and get a nice, easy chipping motion. Your chipping will improve.